Hey guys, it's Angel. It's Chinese New Year Day and we're filming. Happy Chinese New Year to you. 恭喜发财. So I want to dedicate this video to my grandfather who passed away 6 months ago. This is the first Chinese New Year that I'll be spending without him, and I asked myself if Akong was still here, what would his food request be for this special day? And I thought about it and it was a ribeye steak. Because he was a meat eater and he loved a good pan-seared ribeye steak cooked medium rare. And I know it sounds weird to have steak for Chinese New Year, but if you've been eating pork belly and Taiwanese food for 93 years, every once in a while you crave a steak. So Grandpa, this video is for you. For the ingredients, we'll need 1 pound of ribeye steak. I've got a boneless ribeye steak here. And once you have your ribeye steak, take it out about 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, just to let the steak come to room temperature. This also helps when cooking, so your steak cooks evenly and it doesn't shock the meat when we put it on the pan to sear. We'll also need a tablespoon or 2 of grass-fed butter. And to top it all off, and pair it on the side, I've got some Dijon mustard. Make sure to get the coarse ground mustard with the actual seeds in it. And also some wasabi. I wish I could find fresh wasabi, but I was only able to find wasabi in a tube. We will also need some sea salt flakes, which we're gonna put off to the side as well. And there's something so satisfying about opening and closing this. If you guys are interested in this salt container, I'll leave a link in the video description. Before we start cooking our steak, we're gonna prep the steak by patting dry with a paper towel. And the reason why we wanna do this is because we wanna absorb any excess moisture that might be on the steak. That way, when we put it on the pan, it'll give a nice sear. And now I'm gonna wash my hands. Now we're gonna season the steak with some salt and pepper on both sides. And if you're wondering, I'm using some pink Himalayan sea salts here. And these are the crystals. Some fresh ground pepper. I like a fine grind. And flip that. And a little more salt on this side. We're done seasoning now, so let's go ahead and get ready to cook. So I'm just gonna put the cast iron pan on a medium-high heat. So it might be a little bit noisy because I'm gonna turn the fan on. When you cook pan-seared steak indoors, it's gonna be pretty smoky, so bear with me. All right, so once the pan starts to smoke a little bit, we'll go ahead and add our butter. Then I'm gonna add the steak. We're gonna let that sear, depending on how thick your cut is, but I'm gonna let this sear for about 2 minutes on each side. So I'm looking for medium rare, and I'm just gonna check by touching the top of the steak and seeing how much it gives back. And I can tell from experience that it's almost done. So we're gonna take it off and let it rest on a cutting board for about 5 minutes. So now that we're done cooking the meat, I'm going to let it rest over there on the cutting board for about 5 minutes. And we want to let it rest before cutting so that way the juices reabsorb. piece right now. That was good. So I like to serve my steak directly on the cutting board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna arrange my steak nicely for presentation. And then off to the side, I'm going to add 3 things. The first is the sea salt flakes. Put those off to the side here. I'm gonna add a little wasabi. And finally, a little bit of mustard. That smells good. And we're done. We've got our pan-seared ribeye steak with a little bit of sea salt flakes, wasabi, and mustard. And now for the taste test. I don't think I've been ever as excited as doing the taste test as in this steak video. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a little bit of sea salt on it. And a little bit of mustard. Just a little. Wow, that was perfectly cooked. I loved that bit of salt that we put on there, and that mustard, the Dijon mustard, really highlighted the flavors of the steak. So now I want to try it with the wasabi. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of wasabi. Just a little. Okay, that wasabi was really spicy. Definitely a little bit goes a long way. I love a good ribeye steak, and medium rare is how I like mine cooked, but I'm curious, how do you guys like yours? Post in the comments and let me know. And if you liked today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm Angel, thank you guys so much for watching, and as my grandpa would say, sharing a meal with a fascinating stranger is one of life's true delights. So until we can share that meal together, take care, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.